Do you just know them all the way up? Or?
No, hey!
Those are words that Casey got wrong.
Oh, I don't know. These are the things that drunk Amanda wrote down as topics, possibly.
Oh.
Yeah, we're live right now.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Welcome to episode 187 of Crippled System. You might hear us. Oh, everything's exploding. Now that happened over there.
Yeah, it's all fine.
Don't worry about it here.
Don't worry about it.
Episode
How are you?
187, which, as I pointed out to John, is a factor of two prime numbers, and that's exciting.
Maybe.
It was.
Yeah.
It's not exciting to me.
11 times 17. It's good fun. It's true.
Welcome to episode 187.
Yeah.
It's also a factor of two prime numbers. 11 and 17.
That's what I... What? What
Yeah.
did I just say?
No.
It's 11 and 17 times.
Yeah. You know...
You know how you figure that out really quickly?
By going through them in your head?
You do it 17 times 10.
Yeah.
And then just add 17.
Andy wouldn't let me leave, Brian. This is your fault.
The way I figured out that it was... So, like, you said 187, and I thought for a second, I'm like, yeah, that feels almost prime-ish. Like, but it's not going to be. It's going to be divisible by something stupid like 17. And then I'm like, oh, wait, yeah. I just randomly pulled that out of thin air. 11's fun because it's part of the pattern that if you take any number that's made up entirely of the number 1.
Okay.
So, let's say 1,111.
Yeah.
So that's 4 digits long.
Yep.
If you square it, the square of it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Huh.
1 squared is 1, 11 squared
Yep.
is 1, 2, 1, 111 squared is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and so on.
Yeah.
So, it's not useful, but it's just a thing.
I didn't know that either. Mm-hmm. Freaking numbers.
So if you ever do need to square a number that's made up entirely of 1 repeated X number of times, just count to X and then count back down to 1.
There you go.
The end. Thanks for listening.
Oh, good.
This has been Crippled Systems Numbercast.
It's system, not singular.
It's
Or it is singular.
It is singular.
I'm sorry, I can't
did
think
say-
right now because the Packers just lost by all the points.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Like, they even gave up at the end. Like, there was 2.5 minutes left, and they didn't even do timeouts or
No,
anything. They were like,
They
yeah.
took
we'll
Rodgers out. Like, all
Yeah.
the starters are just like, whoop, out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looked like they might possibly, when they were down by only 24
Yeah.
or 23. They were down by 23, I think it was. No, 22.
24.
22, because we figured out if they got, they only needed 2 touchdowns and another 2-point conversion.
It was 3
Three.
touchdowns. They were
Yeah.
down by 20.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. 2 touchdowns and then a touchdown with a 2-point conversion.
Sure. Yeah, that's...
When I think of touchdowns, I think 7 points because the extra point is generally there.
Yeah.
So 14 plus 8.
Yeah, they got within 22. Good job, guys.
Yep. I mean,
There is no
they
game
had
next
pretty much
week,
most of the
Brian.
fourth quarter
fair.
for 22.
It was tied for a little while.
Yeah.
They won't lose next week, that's for sure. God, I hope the
se-
Patriots lose. I hate the Patriots. Fuck the Patriots.
The truly sad part about it is now that McCarthy has taken the team again to
The
a NFC championship, they're probably not going to do anything with him.
He didn't take shit to shit.
No, but people aren't going to really fire him because he didn't win the NFC championship. Had they not made the playoffs and finished the same way that they finished started the season, then yeah, I can see that. But I don't think there's going to be any action taken. It's going to be annoying.
I hate McCarthy, and I hate Tom Capers, and I hate Ted Thompson, and I hate the Patriots.
I say, which of those four do you hate more?
I hate the Patriots more. So, I mean, if the Patriots lose, then I'm okay with keeping McCarthy for another year.
Right, yeah. I want the Patriots to miss the playoff, and then I want us to make the playoff that year, and then the next year I want us to do terribly so they fire McCarthy.
So you have
my
a
dream.
you have a 2-year plan.
I have a 2-year plan, correct. 3-year including this year, because this year now the plan is the Patriots lose one of the next 2 games.
Oh, I guess. I thought you were talking for next year.
Well,
Right,
a good
so
idea.
this year the Patriots need to lose one of the next 2 games.
Preferably
Next year the Patriots need, or this one.
This one, yeah.
This one or next one, I don't care. Next year the Patriots need to not make the playoffs, and we need to make the playoffs. That way we have the longest streak ever.
Then we need to do bad.
Then we need to do bad the following year so that they fire McCarthy and Capers and Thompson. Or they can just die in like a plane crash. I don't care.
A plane with the Patriots as well. Like
The
they're all
plane
together.
with McCarthy in it crashes into the Patriots.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom goes the dynamite.
We've solved football for Nathan.
Football's old hat. I'm all about Kabaddi now.
The hell's Kabaddi?
Kabaddi's so
Kabaddi's
good.
amazing!
What is Kabaddi?
It's an Indian sport that
Okay.
it's like...
Do you have to put like a beehive on your hand?
No, you
Or
don't need
anything?
any gear at all.
Oh.
It's like if somebody took
need a
rugby, they took rugby and they're like, let's get rid of the ball in the end zones and just run at each other and tackle each other.
Yeah.
That's
It's
so. It
kind of
means
like,
I play Kabaddi all the time,
Dude,
as a
school
kid.
kids in America should play Kabaddi. You don't need any gear. It's so you have 2 teams of 7, okay? And there's your halfway line, and you take turns. And on your turn, you send one guy across the line. He's your raider, and you go in order. Like you cycle through your team. You don't just pick somebody.
Sure.
The raider goes across the line. They want to tag as many of the other people as possible, and then get back over the line without getting tackled. If they do that, everyone they tagged, you get a point, and that person's out of the game.
Okay.
If they tackle you, they get a point, and you're out of the game. Anytime you eliminate somebody, you get one of your own people back.
Yeah.
So out of the game is a temporary thing. But if
Sure.
There's revivals.
There's revivals. And it's actually legitimately exciting. And you can go super risky because towards the very far end of their half of the field, there's a line, and if you can touch past the line and escape, you get a bonus point.
Only when you're down people. You have to have there has to be like 5 people on
You don't
the
have to be
field.
down people. They have to have at least 5.
Oh, yeah, that's what
you.
it is.
You
That's
can
what it
also
is.
have 7.
Yeah.
They have to have
The
at
bon-
least 5.
the bonus
And then when
point
they
has
get
being-
to 3 or below, if they tackle somebody, they get 2
2
people.
points,
They
yeah.
get 2 points and 2 back. It's actually legitimately fun. Like I heard about it on QI because somebody just brought it up randomly and really, I'm like Kabaddi, what? And then I put it on YouTube just to see, and then I watched like 5 minutes ironically, and then I watched 2 matches unironically, like shoveling popcorn and beer into my face and like hooting and hollering like it was the Super Bowl. It's actually a cool sport.
I ended up watching the last 4 years of championships, and I got legitly mad at the top comment on YouTube. India wins, and I almost flipped the fucking table when they
Spoiler.
actually did win.
To be fair, India always fucking wins. They're the powerhouse of Kabaddi.
Yeah, they can be down 28 points and come back and still win.
One of the people who works in my store is from Nepal, and now I've bonded with him. We just talk about Kabaddi because it's like one of the national sports of Nepal. Like they play it in grade school. It's like their baseball.
I think they made it to a really high thing 3 years ago.
Last year was the first year that America sent a team to the Kabaddi World Cup, and we got annihilated. We went 0-5. And what's hilarious is for the championship is Iran versus Iraq, and it was an exciting game. Spoiler, Iran, who was a huge underdog, actually was winning at halftime, and so India had to do a gigantic come from behind. They outscored like 30-3 or something. It was crazy. But anyway,
Wait, you said Iran and Iraq,
It was
and then
Iran and India. I'm
India
sorry, it was Iran and
invaded?
India. It was Iran and India.
Yeah.
But they showed their paths to the final, and one of them beat America like 51-15. It was like, oh, America, not your sport.
Yeah.
Also, in the original rules, you were only allowed to raid as long as you held your breath.
And we're yelling Kabaddi.
Yeah, so you didn't actually hold your breath. You weren't allowed to inhale. If you inhale during a raid, you're eliminated. And so the entire time you're over there, you have to not inhale. And to prove that you're not holding your breath, you have to constantly just shout Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi the whole time you're there.
And you're
It's
trying
insane.
to tag people to get them out and avoid getting tackled.
And these people, and by the way, tag includes like kicking them in the face.
Yeah.
Like they do like these roundhouse snake kicks, just darting their foot out towards people. Like it gets full contact.
It was a straight up tie kick. To
Yeah.
the fate, like
They do
Yeah.
like a try to sweep the leg. Like they'll like be reaching towards one guy and then just like shoot their leg like real deep. I don't know what they call those low crouch kicks where you just shoot your leg way out there.
Yeah, because they'll swipe at the guy that's in front of them, and then whoever's trying to like sneak over so they can get the tackle, they'll
try to
just kick
flank
that
you.
guy in the face and then run back across the board and be happy.
And it's dangerous because sometimes, like, I saw when he tagged a guy and he starts to run and the guy grabs him and, like, 2 more people jump on him, but he slips out and makes it back over, and that counts as all 3 of those guys being tagged. So it's
Yeah.
risky shit to go for a tackle. It's unironically a fun game to watch, and it looks like a fun game to play. Like, I would play the shit out of Kabaddi if there was a Kabaddi league here.
You're too old.
I think I would want pads. Like, those guys are more manly than I'll ever be.
Sure.
Like, they just take knees to the face.
Right, but all of us are like that, right? Like, couldn't we just get 14 people next War Machine weekend and just play Kabaddi in the courtyard?
My hip.
It's like having a softball league at work. You know, you could have a work Kabaddi league.
No.
I think TDS totally could make that happen.
No. I wouldn't be able to play on it. I couldn't do it.
You could coach.
I could probably coach. I could do that. No, I couldn't do it. If I twist, it's weird. If I like here's my
Knuckle
leg.
down.
Here's my leg with my foot up like this.
Yeah.
If I go like this with my foot, my hip just hurts. I don't know what it is. It's like a shearing sharp pain, but it goes away.
All right. Well, then I guess
Yeah.
You just coach.
Yeah.
You just coach.
I also got weird shit with my joints. I think it's related to my psoriasis.
The rule that took me the longest to figure out was when they kept talking about a do or die raid.
Yeah.
And I thought the announcer was just like, "Are you?" Oh, sure. I thought the announcer just meant like this is an important raid, but like they'd be winning by 3 and be like, "This is a do or die raid." I'm like, doesn't seem that important to me. And then I realized that if you don't score 3 raids in a row, you're eliminated.
Oh, okay.
So you can't just go across and kind of dance around and go back over the line. You have to score. Otherwise, your 3rd one in a row, you're
And
out.
they get a point.
Yeah. Well, because it counts. Yeah, it's an elimination, and those are always a point.
My name is Andy, and I play Mercenaries.
My name is Nathan, and I play Kabaddi.
My name's John. I play Signar.
don't
And to
play
answer
Kabaddi.
Brian's question,
Nope. No, you have to say
Announcement.
Brian's
sorry.
question
Brian's
first.
question is who won the event yesterday,
Announcements.
We don't care.
and we don't care apparently. Never mind.
Yep.
the
It wasn't
announcement was-
Andy.
Yeah,
fine.
they'll come after announcements.
Okay.
Well, no, that was going to be my announcement.
Oh.
We had an event yesterday.
Oh, yeah, there was an event yesterday. I'm just
It's a
going to repeat
segue.
everything that you say. It's a segue.
Nathan's better than Andy. Ouch.
Nathan's better than Andy.
Woo! End the podcast. This was all a long 5-year plan to get him to say that.
We still have to finish ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I know. Metric years.
Metric years.
They're 100 days long.
Okay. We've been podcast. Hey, then we've been podcasting a pretty damn long time.
We have.
For at least a decade.
Oh, wait, so wait, was it?
There's 300.
Is there a 3rd anniversary?
No.
How
We've gone
old are
our
we
full-
actually?
4 years.
4 years?
4 years. So 100 days. So at
4
least
years is 1,400 days. Yeah.
yeah.
Right, but the thing is that so a metric year, I guess, would be like 10 months, each of which is 10 weeks, each of which is 10 days. I don't know how any of this would work out. Metric time's confusing. I don't know why we started it.
You're the one. It sounded like you were
created
just
it.
on it. You were
happy with it.
Yeah. Did you lose that spark already?
I did.
You just
Nothing matters except Kabaddi.
we don't like
Gotta play
Kabaddi.
with classic rules where you have to yell Kabaddi though.
Well, yeah.
We're not playing with like the advanced league rules or whatever the hell they were
Yeah,
called.
classic rules. Yeah, the El Kabaddi, they didn't have a built-in timer, and the other team had to hold hands. Whereas in the classic, they still kind of do sometimes as part of the tactics,
Yeah.
being able to feel what the team's doing. But it's just mostly kind of tradition.
Yeah.
In the original version, they had to hold hands. Travis said something in the thread. I am denoting the fact that Travis is participating because I would never ignore Travis. Commenting in the thread during a podcast because then he would bitch about it at an event.
Travis
yesterday.
is in the thread.
Yes. Also, it's spelled Kabaddi. It's not a T.
So
It's a
I
double
can
D.
just
Kabaddi.
go to here,
Are you modding him?
and then I can. That is
don't
there,
block him.
or I can block him.
He should be a mod. Not.
And
Wah,
not
wah.
mod. But announcements.
We're forming a Kabaddi league.
My elbow snaps. Yes, the ATC is still coming.
March
but I'll come
4th
back to
and
that.
5th?
Let's talk about the event. Or, no, because you guys are gonna have. You at least are gonna have a little bit of a recap about the event.
I can talk a little bit about it. I mean, I don't want to go on about it because that's not how I roll.
All right, I'll do an announcement first then.
Yeah, I can talk about my.
So, we don't have an event in February currently planned. The lacrosse guys said that they might be doing one, though. They haven't posted it yet, so they said they put it on Facebook, but there might be an event up in lacrosse in February.
There might be an event on the same weekend as the ATC up in Appleton.
Why?
I don't know. Guy up there posted about it. And I'm like, that's the same weekend as the ATC. And he didn't respond back at all. But
Well, to be fair, I mean, we didn't give much of a heads up about that. But anyway, so the ATC continues to be the first weekend in March. I think this is a new announcement from last podcast, so I'm not just rehashing stuff, but the Solo Masters is officially a War Machine Weekend wild card qualifier now.
Yep.
So you play, you win, you get points towards entry into the War Machine Weekend big dance. So it's a double prize. Also, what I didn't realize at first about that, not only do you get points, but you get free entry to War Machine Weekend. So it's like that's a $50 value prize right there. I was going to give you my microphone.
Do you want a mic?
No, I just wanted to crash it.
Okay, Casey just wanted to dance. So yeah, that's the new thing is that the Solo Masters is now a War Machine Weekend wildcard qualifier.
Casey might dance at the War Machine.
Casey, I guarantee you,
qualifier.
Casey will dance at the War Machine Weekend. Last chance, no wildcard. She'll be at Solo Masters and she'll dance. You're dancing at Solo Masters, Casey.
Get me drunk enough.
Yeah, I'll get you drunk enough.
She does require liquor for that. Definitely works better.
And then so team sign up is done at the end of this month. You have 9 more days to sign up a team. We had 2 more teams today, so it's we're still getting the people who wait until last moment.
How many teams now?
Over 20.
Oh,
Over 20.
nice.
So 100 folks?
Yeah, and then Solo Masters is the Solo Masters sign up is open. If you show up on the day of and say, "Here's money, I want to play," you're in. Like it's. I said you're in. The point is, there's no time limit on that one because the team event we're going to be posting the teams and their lists online, and that's part of the strategy. Is people are able to see those
You're
lists.
able to plan out who you, if you end up being paired against that team, you're able to pick out who your matchups are probably going to be.
And when are lists due?
And
When are lists due?
end of this month.
Oh, they're all due together.
Yeah. No. Teams and payments are due at the end of this month. I think lists are like
February?
February sometime.
Okay.
Sorry.
Somebody who
February as well.
has some knowledge of this, who's maybe in chat, called Sam or Travis or somebody like that we'd like in Milwaukee.
But while he's looking that up, because we don't have that restriction on the Solo Masters, it's open. And officially, because somebody asked half jokingly, 30% jokingly, if you want to sign up for the team event and the Solo Masters, go ahead.
He was 100% serious.
I think he was 100%
He was
serious.
100%
If you want to
serious.
sign up for both, so lists are due February 10th. Thank you, Red Wolf 6879. Why was Red Wolf afraid of 6? Because 6879? I don't know. Anyway, so point is, Solo Masters sign up doesn't close. Goonies never die.
That's why is 6 afraid of 7? It's
No,
'cause 7
look at his. Why is Red Wolf afraid of 6? Because 6879.
I guess if that's fair. Okay. I'll give it to you. Totally makes sense.
Oh my God!
Why was 5 afraid of? Wait, let's try this again.
I want to clarify real quick here on the chat here. So Nick had said that Travis is running it himself, so he's got all the details. Travis is not running it by himself. He's running it with another PG or another judge.
Some other judge.
Some other judge. So, yes.
There's something on your thing there. It's bugging me.
It's probably paint.
But there's the Yoda joke where Yoda's like, "Why?
Oh, I
see. 5 afraid 7? It's called 6, 7, 8."
Gotcha. I actually like that one.
Yeah.
God.
6, 7, 8. All right, yeah, that was me very ham-handedly talking about the ATC. That was awkward as shit.
That was very dad jokey. The ending was very dad jokey.
6, 7, 8. I I was in Half Price Books on Friday.
Yeah.
And look at this shit or whatever. And they had audio cassettes of the original Star Wars trilogy that came out with the fucking movies. Like these are things
I
from the
remember
80s.
them.
You know, because
I remember
they're audio
records
cassettes.
as well.
But the thing is, they had the cast list, and they had like starring, and they had like the big cast people on there, and they had Mark Hamill and Anthony Daniels and Billy D. Williams doing Luke and C-3PO and Lando. But do you know who did Yoda?
Not Frank Oz.
No, not Frank Oz. John Lithgow.
Huh.
I just want to hear John Lithgow's Yoda. Like, did he do the voice, or did he just say, fuck it, I'm John Lithgow, and just do his voice?
I bet you could find that on YouTube.
I probably could, but I was lazy, so I didn't do it.
You could probably find the tapes of them.
Well, yeah, I was holding them in my hand. I just didn't buy them.
Why didn't you buy them?
I don't know.
Do you
Dan
have a-
Dawkins posted an emoji of somebody puking, and the guy puking looks like Nate White. True.
I miss Nate White. I
Doesn't
haven't
that
seen
look
him in a
like Nate
while.
White? He is going to be at the Solo Masters. He was the
he is?
second person to sign up for it. And I'm
Sweet.
excited. I'm very happy to see Nate White. But tell me that emoji doesn't look like Nate White.
Yeah, correct. To let everyone know too is if you have only 4 people and you are balking at signing up for a team, I might be able to help out with that. Otherwise,
What's
I
going to
am.
happen? We're going to have 4 teams show up, each missing a person, and they're each going to want you.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll take the highest bidder.
If there was 5 teams with only 4 people, we could take one of those 5 teams and break it apart and have it be the 5th person for
Sure.
the other 4 teams.
But otherwise, I'm going to be running the Masters, so the Solo Masters. So if you want to come hang out with me, hey, I run the Solo Masters.
Brian found the audio. Brian, describe it to us in the chat. Use text to describe to me what John Lithgow's Yoda sounds like.
Probably sounds very similar to Yoda.
Well, it sounds
Is it-
exactly like Yoda because it is Yoda.
'Cause
To
it's-
me, John Lithgow is the true Yoda.
No. Frank Oz.
Huh. Anyway, Andy, event? How'd that go?
Event for me? Oh, well, yesterday was a Champions event. Had 24 people sign up for it.
It's approximately triple what I was expecting.
Yeah, it was, well, it's the first event of the new year, so like Pegasus Games, like immediately after the new year started, we filled up to like a ton of people on our Wednesday nights. So I decided I was going to bring, I don't like Champions. Let me state that right away.
Champions.
I like the idea of Champions. It really skews it when your faction has only really one or 2 good choices out of the ADR list, and everybody seems to bring the same lists. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But anyway, I was one of the 5 or 4 Osram players.
Yeah, and Kerr was one of them, and Kerr played against 2 of the other 3.
Yeah,
Like, he almost had 3 mirror matches in a row.
correct. So I basically ran... What? I basically ran a Osram list that was in theme with Hammer Strike, and then I ran Drake McBain in my other list. I think I was the only different pairing there. I think almost everybody else had Magnus 2 in the other list. So
This Magnus 2 is amazing.
Magnus
I didn't
2
realize he
is,
had gained Escort. Like, he was
Yeah.
already good in Mark II, and they gave him Escort? Fucking A.
yeah, he's pretty damn awesome. So first game I ended up taking on the Old Witch. Well, I took on Old Witch in her theme. I did not realize that part of the theme because I was looking at the cards in War Room. When you look at the cards in War Room, it doesn't have the details of theme in there. So
Well,
the sack pawn to Winter Guard models does not exist on our card.
it would if you actually, in your match, built the second list.
And then did a play against it, yeah.
And did a play against. If you just pull up the individual model, you're right, it will.
Correct.
Because she doesn't always have that ability, so, yeah.
It'd be neat to see if something like that you could select it as being in theme or something like that. But anyway, taking on the Old Witch, he left the Old Witch way out in the open where I could get at her with a bunch of gun bunnies. I played my cards wrong, and when I took my first shot and sack pawned it into her, I didn't into the gun carriage. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Good thing it was a siege engine that was going into there, because then I got the extra bonus die for damage onto the gun carriage.
Oh, sure.
I mismanaged how I was doing my shots, so I didn't do my black or gunners first. So if I had shot all my gunners directly into the siege engine first, I could have hit her with all the
You could have
blasts.
killed the
I could have just killed the old witch then.
Yeah.
So, and then he mismanaged his dice, or not mismanaged his dice, his focus to get an assassination run on Ostrom. I misplayed Ostrom. I walked forward into her feet instead of walking out and just not be affected by her feet. And failed to kill me, and then I just drilled her into the back of the head.
Poor old witch.
Yeah. My second game was against, that was against Andy, Baraboo Andy. My second game was against Brian Culp. Took on Zadesh 2.
Yep.
And he had a whole bunch of Titans. I killed a lot of Titans. And that took a lot of time off my clock. And so he won by me clocking myself. But I did take care of a lot of them. I still played Ostrom. I played Ostrom for the entire day. Third game, I took on Jim Goff. And he ran everything at me. I feeded and eliminated pretty much a third to half his army on that feed turn, on my first turn, and then it was just more of the same from that point on. I just slowly destroyed his stuff.
I'm going to interject. The chat at the moment is discussing the uselessness of the play against feature, and yes, there's the feature where you actually link up with your opponent, and that is a nightmare because you have to have Wi-Fi and it's battery drain and stuff like that. We weren't talking about that. When you do a match in your own war room, you're allowed to build a second list into your system. So you could do that to have the access. You don't have to link with your opponent.
Yeah, when you go to battle, you just click the add army twice, and then you just build whoever you're playing against army, and you won't probably track boxes unless you really feel really confident about your clock, but you'd at least be able to see what they've got.
Yeah.
Correct.
But yeah, so that threw me off, though. Again, not having that themeless benefit in there, too. And then my third game was against Jim. That ended into just horribleness for Jim, unfortunately. My dice were also on fire. I was destroying everything left and right. My last game was against Dave, local Dave, who honestly just really plays a lot of spam lists.
Yeah. But at least he plays a different spam list every 2 weeks. Like,
correct.
You actually, I respect that. Fine, your gimmick is spam list, but at least, I see a variety of spam lists, which is ironic.
Correct. And that was, that I had it, I felt like I had a pretty good chance at it. I rolled really badly, trying to get 9s on 3 dice. Did not a lot, didn't get a lot of shots in there. And then when I finally actually got my dice going and actually hit his stupid birds, at dice -3, I ended up rolling 2, 3, 4 damage for him, and it just wasn't enough. I mean, those birds should be severely damaged after some really good shots going into them, but I could not do them very well. And that was my game. And then again, I killed a lot of birds, and again, time. So it's my first 4 games playing War Machine in a long time, so I need to work on my time period with them. Yeah. But the list I ended up taking, just a quick example, again, I played Ostrom all day, so I had 3 blasters, 3 gunners, the siege engine, Ostrom. I had a full unit of hammer dwarves, which were pretty much useless most of the day, 2 artillery pieces, and 2 drillers.
And then that was paired with McBain list that never got played.
Yep. Okay. My McBain list might have been scary to some people. McBain list had Rangers, had a two Nomads and a Mule, with 2 full units of cavalry, 2 full units of Steelhead Halberdiers, and all the solos that came with them, I believe, which was Cal Balelock, Oren Midwinter, and Stannis Brocker.
Okay.
So it was a speedy list. I think it might have done well, but I was having more fun with Ostrom at the point.
Dwarf lover.
Yeah. So that probably only took up like 20 minutes of the discussion.
I'm going to drop a tidbit that I discovered today. I already mentioned it off air. I think this is cool tech.
It's got game.
So, there are 3 things in the game that remove flight from enemy models. Mm-hmm. There is The Hurricane passively has, if you activate within a foot of it, you lose flight for a round. Who won? Some asshole from Chicago got first. Travis got second.
Travis.
Like I said, some asshole from Chicago got first. Travis got second. He was also undefeated, but we were capped at 4 rounds, and he had a real cake strength of schedule, so he got second on that. And then
He did get
Jake Quimby got third.
Travis did end up getting. It's worth noting. End up getting 20 control points.
Yes.
For all of his games.
Yeah, he got 5 control points in every single game.
Yeah.
But blah, blah, blah. So my Una 2 tech. Well, I spoiled it. Sorry. So if you activate within a foot of the Hurricane, you lose flight for a round.
Yep.
If you activate within command range, which is 9, of Lanissa Rissel after she's used her Windstorm Star action, Winterstorm, whatever, you lose flight for a round. Or if you're hit by Bladed Gale, which is an Aurora Newman of Orogenesis spell, you lose flight for a round. So, like, if you're Signar and you have a Hurricane, well, once they exist, and you're playing against Una 2, there's a lot of defensive tech having that Hurricane position itself so that it's clipping a few of those birds with that 1-foot bubble, because then they are not affected by the feat. They don't get the +2 speed, they don't get the immunity to melee attacks, and that's some sexy shit. Aurora of the 3, and so it's less good with Lanissa Rissel, because...
Fucking thing was the flight?
Huh? What was that?
Yeah, her feet only affects things with flight.
Her feet only affects things with flight. Yeah.
All right.
100% only affects things with flight.
There was some things in my game against David that could have gone to a little bit differently.
Did he have things...
Pure blood.
Oh, he had a pure blood?
Probably
yeah, that won't be
pure blood,
affected.
right?
It's models with
He had
flight.
a pure blood, he had a moonhound, and he had a Gorax.
Yeah, they're not. None of those are affected by the feet. So the Hurricane will shut down her feet to things. Lanissa will do a worse job because she'll probably find a way to kill Lanissa with 1 or 2 birds, and then the rest of the birds will still benefit from the feet. But Aurora has it as a defensive tech. You know, if they charge in or if they run in and engage, number one, you can position yourself out with the apparition. But not only that, spray a Bladed Gale across 2 or 3 of those birds, boost to hit, you hit them, they lose flight, murder the fuck out of them with melee. Like, you can strip that immunity by hitting...
Oh, so you could basically strip the whole feed off of them.
Yeah, because it's models with flight are immune... Because it's not models with flight currently gain immunity to melee for a round. It's while in her control area, models with flight are immune to melee attacks. And so when you strip the flight off of them, they are no longer a model with flight, so...
Yeah.
They are no longer immune to the melee attacks. So the +2 speed, like, you know, that you'll have to hit them first, like with the Hurricane towing or whatever. But if they run and engage you, or if they charge in and you survive, you can Bladed Gale them, rip their wings off, and all of a sudden they're open to getting punched in the face.
That's kind of one of the things that I wanted to... I ended up telling David as we were going through our game, that's why I took Ostrom into that final match. It's because Ostrom has an out from it.
Right.
When he surrounds you with all the birds and they can't be attacked by melee, I can bulldoze them fuckers right off of me. But I ended up telling him that, and then he ended up changing his strategy up.
Yeah, don't...
Because I wanted... If I'm going to face Una 2, I want to face Una 2 under... Instead of a surprise gotcha.
Right.
You're like, hey, you just lost 4 of your birds because gotcha. I didn't want to do that.
Flip side, fuck them. They're playing Una 2.
That's true, too. So, yeah, that probably won't happen again. Well, now I know how she does her thing. She didn't do that to me. I was actually able to survive most of that match. Had we not had a time limit, I was probably going to be pretty close to winning.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're the Signar player sitting here. Is Nemo 2 has Polarity Shield.
Yep.
You put Polarity Shield on her Hurricane and just walk it up to her army.
It has the Una 2 matches that I've played. She'll feat to engage me before I can get there. Like, because they can run well outside that bubble. So Nemo 2 might not be the best choice because I don't believe he has anything to speed it up. But when you're looking at like Haley 2 or there's other casters with speed buffs whose names I can't remember, they'll all take care of that as well. But
right, but they can only run to engage from outside. Like if that Hurricane just runs its 10 inches, like if a bird's 22 inches away and you run 10 inches forward to get it within the foot. You know what I mean? Like
at that point, if
a bird's not within 22 inches of you, you're just winning on scenario anyway, right?
really depends on how they set up the first turn. Like if you don't go first or second. But yeah, I agree. It's a fantastic
If they're
idea.
23 inches away, then you don't, and if they're 22 or less inches away, then you do. The point is you pull the Red October, where when the torpedo's coming at you, you speed up into it.
Yeah. Right into them.
Yeah. It's just, it's neat, that, and nobody listens to us anyway, so this will still be a surprise. But you'll catch some Una 2 players by surprise.
Striker
They'll have
3
the
was
birds
when I
there,
was
and you'll
thinking
just
of.
go up with your Hurricane, and he'll go feed and go, well, sucks to be you.
Yeah. And if you can have something in front of the Hurricane to make it so they can't just like fly into it anyway,
Right.
more the merrier.
Well, even if they fly into it, they're not immune to melee attacks. Or if it's the ones from outside 12 inches.
Those are the ones I'm referring to.
It shoots them in their stupid faces because it doesn't have the targeted melee penalty against things it's in melee with.
Fair.
Right? They're not going to be able to get past it because if they're able to get past it, they were definitely within 12 inches of it.
Yes.
So they either run up to it and get shot in their face, or they don't and don't do anything.
They should still be able to, like, if there's nothing in the way, they can still charge into it.
From 13 inches away?
No, never mind.
That's the point.
Gotcha.
If they're within 12, they can't. They lose flight, so they lose speed access.
They lose the speed, is what I'm
Right,
thinking.
they lose the speed. So if they're within 12, they lose the speed. If they're outside 12, I don't think they can charge him from more than 12 inches away
No,
because their default 6.
7.
Oh, well, 7 then can. Well, 7,
No, they
8,
don't
9,
have-
10, 11, 12. Yeah, 7, 2 from the feet, and 3, it's exactly 12 plus their half-inch melee. So 12 and a half exact, they could charge him.
Correct.
Okay, so that's your danger window, is that half an inch. Because above 12 and a half, they can't charge him. Under 12, they can't charge him.
Yeah.
And they're also not going to run past him because that's 17 and a half inches to get past him. And that's just, so as long as you're an inch behind them, like, you're safe from them being running to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
oh,
just-
yeah, and so I guess they can hunter's mark. So if they're 12 and a half to 14 and a half. So there is a window, but it's still something, right?
And I think better than what it was.
Right. I mean, I just think a Hurricane, and you don't have to do it with Nemo 2, it's just Polarity Shield was gravy, but now that I'm mathing it, I mean, Polarity Shield, never mind. It's such a small window.
I'm a fan of the idea of Striker 3 or
Sure.
now Jake's 2. I didn't think of him or her, rather.
The Hurricane is the key point.
Yeah,
you
the
shove
Hurricane
that
matters.
Hurricane up to shut down the birds with that aura, because then they're immune to their own feet, which sucks for them.
They're immune to their own feet, but they still have flank with each other, though, and that's
Sure, but without flight, they got terrain to worry about.
But I mean, they could still charge the Hurricane though too.
Well, not if there's anything in front of the Hurricane, because they lose the ability to go over models.
That's true.
They lose the ability to go over objectives. They lose the ability to go not objectives. Well, yeah, objectives, obstacles.
Yep.
But yeah, that's where I was talking about having
forest.
something in front
Yeah.
of them helps quite a bit.
Like losing flight neuters the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the thing. Linissa can do it to a lesser extent, so I wouldn't build a list around it. But if you have Linissa in your list and you're going against Una, remember that you can do that.
God damn, she's. I don't know why the
She's
scars
overpriced
fell.
now.
Well, she's fine. I don't know why scars fell. So I've got 3, or possibly up to 6 attacks.
3 initial melee attacks seems a little.
It seems a
two
little
open
much.
fists.
Yeah,
It's
2
like
open
that.
fists.
That's what a lot of people don't seem to remember is she has 2. Each of those has 2 open
Yeah.
fists. 2-handed throws are a thing you really have to look out for.
That's how David was able to secure a point. He threw 2 of my little gun bunny jacks out of the zone.
Jason Watt is playing a list with Axis and 19 galvanizers. I'm confused why it's not Axis and 20 galvanizers. Wait, 21 galvanizers? Yeah, why isn't it Axis and 21 galvanizers? What's he doing with his other 10 points?
Corollary?
I guess. Okay, corollary, and then the other 4 points is a unit of mechanics for the fuck of it? Or maybe a unit of servitors.
The mechanics can give magic weapons, though, right?
Yeah, but he never attacks.
Oh, he just jams you out?
Well, they have. He has Unstoppable Force as a spell, so he just pushes you out of the zone and scores, and then does it again, and then does it again. But what does that do against Colossal?
Yeah. He doesn't drop that.
I guess.
He drops someone else.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could see having 10 of them and a Prime Axiom like that. I think is better than just having 20 of them. But
It's basically gun bunny spam. It's basically what it
Yeah.
is. It's Osram.
yeah, but
in a
they're
different
fully
form.
boosted. Like the
Osram is different though. That's getting you're getting double your focus
Yeah.
for free for all of those jacks.
these galvanizers don't have power up.
They're just there to knock you out of the zone.
I mean, they have induction, but that can be a
describing.
little annoying with all that. But sure, but you want to run, and they don't have power ups, so there's some positioning issues. You have to
Yeah.
make sure you have a chain of 6 inches to be able to go down there. But they don't have the offensive output. Your bunnies have offensive output with POW 12s fully boosted. You know,
Those gunners are awesome. They don't do well against sprays, but yeah. I mean, against stealth, that's what I meant. Yeah. But, yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
that was a topic.
That was a topic. We did it.
Hooray, us!
Yeah.
So there's also a thing on the side of the Kabaddi court called the lobby, which is it's kind of like if you look at a doubles court and it has a tennis court and it has the wider section for when you play doubles. It's like that where it's a wider section. You're only allowed to go into there after the raider has tagged a defender, and so it can be used on the escape but not on the approach.
So, to be perfectly honest, coming from an outsider who's never seen this, never seen it in action, it sounds a lot like just dodgeball without a ball.
Yeah, it's dodgeball with kicking them in the face instead of a ball.
It's kind of like brutal tag.
Yeah, it's
Like you're trying to tag them and then get out.
What
alive.
part of dodgeball without a ball but kicking them in the face instead is a bad thing?
I love the resurgence of dodgeball after the movie Dodgeball when
Yeah.
it was on TV for a while with all the goofy teams. It had like all the themes around them, so it was like pro wrestling and dodgeball.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Let's run with this. Imagine you were a kid and you're like, hey, let's play dodgeball. And you don't have a ball, so instead you just take turns running across the center line punching people.
Your body's the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what it is.
That's pretty awesome.
Well,
And if they catch you, you're out. It is
and if they catch
dodgeball,
you, you're out.
and you are
so
the
it's
ball.
like you replace the ball with a shrieking maniac.
God, that sounds so much better.
You know what it is? Kabaddi, baby.
I've got a politically incorrect term that of a game I used to play as a kid.
It's spelled Kabaddi. Kabaddi.
You ever play Smear the
Yes.
as a kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
I want to see that as a sport.
you know what you should watch?
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi.
But that's kill the guy with the ball, though. That's
Right.
not.
This
That's
is kill
not
the guy that
I mean,
tagged
like 1 versus 20.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
Yes, Travis has the correct spelling. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's that style of game. Like, and that's why I'm kind of shocked that it never took on.
It
Because the thing is,
it would be something that would have to be picked up by like a major network,
Right.
And then they would have to build onto it. It's kind of like honestly how MMA started off as.
Yep.
It started off as just as a pay-per-view type thing, and then slowly grew into what it is now.
it is joined.
It
I
would
guess these
be
sound like curling and hurling as the sports that I wish that I could watch on TV in America.
TDS has got curling. Somebody went to the Olympics a couple years ago.
I love curling.
But yeah, it would probably fit very well onto the programming on the Ocho.
Almost a sport.
Except that it is.
Kabaddi as a sport is
It is
over
a real
4,000
sport.
years old. Travis loves curling. Good job, Travis.
Curling is also good. But
Dude, like, people are like, oh, curling is dumb, and then you watch a game and you see, they're like wizards. They're like, the airbenders from, like, how do they
Avatar?
make Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like these stones, these 42-pound rocks. First of all, there you go, 42 in the sport. That shows you it's a good sport. But these things, like, do curves and curls and tuck in. It's like, how the fuck do you wizards do that?
got to get it around someone else's, and
Yeah.
then
And then it'll go in between two blockers, curve around another one, and then curve back to the center, hit one, which will hit another one into a third one, causing that second one to stay on point, but the third one to be knocked out. It's like, are you fucking crazy?
yeah.
Make fun of this all you want. Also, for some reason, every Olympics, every single member of every female curling team is adorable as hell. Like, beach volleyball is the cliched thing that the dirty men talk about watching at the Summer Olympics. If you're a horny man and you want to see beautiful women in the Winter Olympics, you watch curling.
I'd watch Kabaddi.
Yeah. Women's Kabaddi is interesting because they're all wearing the full, like, hijabs.
Yeah. A lot of them
Like,
are.
they don't have the burqas, the masks, but they still have the head covering, of course. But they're sure kicking each other in the face. Andy's showing me a guy playing a guitar. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, it's a Hammerfall.
Yeah,
if you look up Hammerfall, Hearts on Fire, it shows the Swedish curling team.
Yeah.
And it's a video that they do specifically for them. So it's like a metal song about, just Hearts on Fire with a curling team. They're all cute.
And
Those are all men, Andy. Okay, there we go.
that's the band. The women,
Yeah.
that's the women's team. But the
it seems
the
a
broom is
weird-
an actual thing. It's science.
It just seems like it's a weird thing to have a heavy metal song about. If they have curling in it.
The Nordic countries have two things: black metal bands and winter sports.
Yeah,
Those are the two things they have. So they're
combining them.
That's combining them. That's like having baseball and apple pie in one video for America. Like,
I'm sure they have the exact same one for skiing.
yeah,
I wonder if I could put that into our stream.
or biathlon,
I wonder if I could show at least the video in the stream on the side.
maybe.
What's a winter biathlon?
There's no such it's biathlon. It's not biathlon. It's
Okay.
BITHLON. There's no
Okay.
A in the middle. The biathlon, that's the cross country skiing with guns.
Oh,
You've seen that, haven't you?
I have seen that. I didn't realize what it was called. I just assumed it was
because it's two
gun
sports.
ski.
Biathlon. But that's also an interesting. I fucking love the Winter Olympics. I love it more than the Summer Olympics.
Winter Olympics is superior. I enjoy watching the skiing. I enjoy watching the snowboarding. Curling's also legit.
It's skating, speed skating, and even figure skating. It's impressive. Speed skating is pretty awesome.
Is figure skating a Winter Olympic sport?
Yeah.
Oh, I've always missed that.
Speed skating, hockey, of course, but yeah, biathlon, ski guns. But the cool thing about that is, like, so if the mechanics of it is a cross-country ski race, and you do, like, laps,
Yep.
and then you have to, at certain points, stop and shoot targets, and you get, like, 5 shots, and you have to hit 5 targets, and for each target you miss, you have to do, like, a little mini penalty lap around, like, the target range. And so there's a balance where for some people it's like it's okay if I'm shitty at shooting if I'm
really
the fastest
fast.
cross keys, and the other people are like I'm a really good target so I can be slower than the other people. Like it's two completely unrelated skills, but
Yeah.
if you balance them right, you have to average out to good athlete. It's like chess boxing, which is a sport.
What?
You ever heard of chess boxing?
I've not heard of chess boxing.
You play like some number of moves of chess, and then you play a round of boxing, and then you switch back and forth between the two of them,
Oh, that's amazing.
right? And so you get that interesting thing, like, would Bobby Fischer mate Tyson first, or would Tyson murder Bobby Fischer first? Like, who wins, and where in the middle is it worth it to have both skills? Because it's
Depends on
hard
the
to chess
moves.
when you're concussed.
Oh man.
This is a legit thing. You can see chess boxing matches on the internet.
Oh, I'm going to YouTube when I get home.
Yeah. But if anybody out there knows where I can watch Kabaddi all day, every day, that'd be great.
The whatever Indian network it was on that I was watching, they, like I said, they had like the last 4 years of championships.
That's awesome.
And I binge watched it.
Yeah.
Not even sorry.
No
regrets.
You shouldn't be.
Casey comes over to my computer and she's like, "What in the hell are you watching?" And I'm like, "It's violent tag."
Yeah. It's dodgeball where the ball is replaced by somebody kicking you in the face.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy, for making it even awesomer.
Yeah, definitely. And so she watched a couple, back and forths with me, and she goes, "I'm just gonna go ahead and take a nap." She couldn't handle the awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And it was like 11:30 at night.
well, that's fair then.
And I told her I'm not going to bed until this match is over. And I was only 10 minutes in, and it was an hour and like 10 minutes long. They have a lot of commercials, but not as much as football, actually.
Not as much, but you know what? I enjoyed I forgot about that too. Watching like the Iran India match, seeing the commercials, because it was just cool to see Indian commercials. Because number one, a lot of cell phone commercials.
Yes.
Not providers, but the phones themselves.
Yep.
And also, beer commercials and stuff like that. But the one that was amazing to me was there's commercials for a house paint, where the two guys on the block, like the one was cleaning his house, and the other one was bragging about how he doesn't have to clean his house because he has the anti-dust technology paint. And they made a big deal about all the dust like blowing in the wind and coating the one guy's house. Like, we don't have that. Like, our paint is rainproof and snowproof, and that's a selling point. But this Indian paint company is like, yeah, nope. Like, all the dust flying in the air because we live in the desert isn't sticking to the side of my house.
Yeah, so he had like a nice, brilliant house paint job yet.
Yeah, and the other
Versus
guy's
everybody
wiping
else's,
clay off of the side of his house. It's like, it's just cool to me to see what matters for the selling point.
Yeah, there were, like I said, not as many commercials as football nowadays, but there were still quite a few.
Yeah.
Like they'd go like 4 or 5 times back and forth, and then you get like a 10-second commercial, and then maybe they went 15 times back and forth, and you got a 30-second commercial.
There's not as much stoppage time in Kabaddi versus
No, there's
it's
a lot
more
more.
like hockey where they got to squeeze in the commercials when they can.
Yeah, and one guy got injured, and that was like a 30-second commercial because he was down and he wasn't moving.
They had to get the corpse off the field before
went in.
and then they just weekend at Bernie's when he came back in. He's all right.
Like he went in, he successfully kicked like 4 people, and they just boom. Like there's just no adjective for what happened to him that I have. He just went down, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't get across the line. Suck it, we got point." And he's out.
Yeah,
and he was out. I didn't see him come back.
no, they killed that guy.
Oh, Kabaddi.
We're now officially America's #1 Kabaddi podcast.
And we're going to talk about. Are we going to actually?
I will talk about if we agree to watch a certain match every week. I will talk about that match every week when we come back. Like I unironically would plan Kabaddi conversations.
This has been a sportscast.
Well, it's a sportscast, and also I'm showing a Hammerfall video with no audio on our podcast as well.
Oh, is that what that little boxy thingy is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I'm showing the Hammerfall video with.
He's showing you
curling.
what the Swedish curlers look like.
Yeah, and what the Swedish band looks like. The band is the one in leather and spikes. The women's curly team is the women with curling stones. All right, well, that's Kabaddi talk.
Yep. Kabaddi talk. Is that what we're going to call the podcast now?
Kabaddi talk.
Oh, see, like I turned my hips slightly, and it hurts.
That's because you're like 50.
I'm not 50.
I know.
Getting there.
Yeah. Raylene is angry every time she thinks about her
Age. Yeah.
She's also not 50, but she's closer to 50 than 40, and she's upset about it. I try to cheer her up, telling her that I'll die before I hit 40, but that for some reason doesn't cheer her up.
So I have to ask real quick. I have to make sure. Ask the audience if the video is actually playing music. I hope it wasn't, because then it would just be really odd. And then I get the video flagged.
I hope it wasn't playing music. If it was playing music over us talking about Kabaddi, I'll be very upset. Well, we could just start over. So
Exactly. I'm really glad you shared that.
Right?
I was just sitting bored, and I'm just like, I'm going to click something Nathan shared. And it was so good.
Yeah.
Good. So it didn't play any music, so I'm glad about that. But Hammerfall, you should look it up. Hammerfall is just basically very similar to Man of War. So if you like Man of War, but with a little bit more rock to it, that's Hammerfall.
Which, yes, both of those technically are War Machine adjacent.
Well, yes. I mean, they're, very similar names. Of course,
and they're I think they're in
there's
War
the
Machine.
Hammerfall people, and then there's also Man of Wars running around.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Roasting in their armor.
Also,
Man of Wars are very similar to Hammerfall.
yeah.
They all have pretty armor.
Well, especially the
No, that's
Demo Corps.
Horgenhold. It's Horgenhold.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
The Hammerfall are high shields.
Yeah, head shields, and when they do shield wall, they have really high armor. You know, they're slow. They're speed 4 high armor units.
Yep.
That music's not slow.
Yep.
I wasn't talking about the music. I was comparing Hammerfall to Man of War.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And Hammerfall and Man of War are both speed 4 high armor units.
Fair. I was comparing the band to the
Band.
even the band.
So let's
to the
compare
band.
Man of War to Man of War and Hammerfall to Hammerfall.
Yeah, and one's slow and the other's fast in both cases.
Wait, what? They're both speed 4.
I thought we were
Right,
comparing.
but then both the bands are fast.
The bands are fast in both cases, and then the units are slow in both cases. So that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Funny little fact.
Slow, you should say disabled.
Funny little fact. One of my favorite albums by Hammerfall, which is Chapter 5, contains a phrase that I thought was amazingly awesome and then someone taught me what it was from. It was "I'm bent, I'm bowed, I'm broken."
He's like, yeah, this bed's got this awesome line. Like, Andy?
Let me introduce you to the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yep. And then he showed me, like, the album, and, like, the album cover even has, like, a guy with the Sun Spear logo. Like, it's full on. The album's just about the Martells.
Nice. I am not a Quimby.
Oh, boy. Oh, we got our
No
first
one's
Zappy
threatening my
Grumble.
life.
Would you give 1,000 blowjobs for $1 billion? Yes. Well, do I get to space them out? Like, do I have to do one a day for 3 years?
No, it's all in a row immediately.
I would probably literally die. Like, that's the issue.
You don't have to swallow.
That was my follow-up. Like, can I point them away? Like,
Oh, I thought if you would get 1,000 blowjobs for $1 billion. Never mind.
because the thing is, that's $1 million per blowjob. And if you said, hey, I'll give you $1 million to blow a guy, I'd probably do it.
If
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, I would $1 million. Yeah, I would.
I have had worse jobs in my life than blowing a guy, and they didn't get me $1 billion. Plenty of women and gay men blow people for free, so it can't be that bad. Do I get to pick the dicks, or is it one dick 1,000 times? Do they have to finish? If they finish, do I have to receive it?
Yeah,
You're going to receive it, but you can spit.
No, like,
You have to receive it, and you have to show your receipt in order to get the $1 million.
no, like, I've seen plenty of blowjobs where it did not end in the mouth.
In the mouth? Well, we need Pokovich to let us know what happens.
Right. Well, the follow-up is not happening. We are not doing the follow-up question.
No,
Wait.
it's not. No.
And then, upcoming game you're excited about, first half of 2017.
I'm not going to get the system because it's not going to be available because it's fucking Nintendo. But I would love to play the new Zelda. And I know that basically it's not going to be the Switch is not going to be available basically to the general public.
Right.
It's going to be available to only the people who pre-ordered it last month. And
They always squeeze a two per retail store once a week at random things. Yeah, they do it every time. They're dicks about it. I thought there was a different one that had like the Sun Spear thing.
They might. Well, they might
It had
have
like the banner or something on a different album.
quite possibly.
But I'm looking forward to Horizon Zero Dawn.
I don't think I know what that is.
So it's like a third-person like adventure go-around, kind of like Dark Souls style thing. But you're all medieval level technology. So I guess I'm still sticking to Dark Souls thing. But like most of the fauna is robotic.
Ooh.
I'll show you like the gameplay trailer. It's pretty amazing. Like the stuff they do.
I honestly think of Far Cry Primal.
Okay.
But then
but they're
everything else is robots. So all the all the giant creatures and that are all robots.
And there's neat things too, not just like, ooh, it's robots, so that's automatically cool, but like they have them fighting like what's obviously the first little like, boss, but of course it'll be a normal enemy by the time you get later in the game.
Yeah.
But like the first big fight, like she's riding this robo horse around and this giant robot comes charging at her, and during the fight, like if there's a building in the way, it just smashes through the fucking building. And I always like destructible terrain in games as well.
I like it when it doesn't destroy the same way every time, so it's not like puzzle piece style. I prefer it that it's like CryEngine, everything just gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that building destroyed twice, so I don't know which way it goes. But unlike the weapons look cool, like they had like rope arrows that like stuck in, and then you stuck in the ground to try to like corral the thing so that you could subdue it, and stuff is weak against fire or weak against ice, and that's always strategic. It just looked really fun.
From the other trailer that I saw from it, it sounds like that there is some kind of evil cult of some sort that's taking these machines and then turning them. They're being corrupted in some way or another, and that's basically kind of
that first thing you fight is called a corruptor, and she even calls out like this peasant thinks it's a demon, and she's like, I don't believe in demons, and then there's the demon, it's called a corruptor, and they even show it like the robots are mostly peaceful. I mean, as much as like there are carnivore ones as well, but like this corruptor is literally like a virus making them evil, and so I guess there's a cult behind it.
There's some guy. There's some bad guy behind it, but it looks really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have a PS Pro, and it's not exclusive for it. But I believe it, or maybe it is exclusive for it.
I don't know.
The PS Pro, the PS4 Pro.
I don't know what that is.
That is the upgraded PS4.
Oh.
That's out now, and I think Horizon Dawn is exclusive to that.
Oh.
Nathan will have to buy a new one.
It's only $400.
I'm looking forward to borrowing Last Guardian from one of my coworkers who has Last Guardian, and I'm looking forward to playing Uncharted more.
Are you gonna finish your Uncharted 1, or are you gonna take our advice and actually go to Uncharted 2?
I bought a new bottle of Long Island mix yesterday, so I might go home tonight and try playing more Uncharted.
Go get a video camera. Go get not a video camera. Or I could just bring my video camera, but go get a PlayStation 4 camera, and then I will be your support watching you get through it, or take over the control when you get really annoyed.
I don't know why you would do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Mass Effect Andromeda, I told myself I would not look at anything for it after the betrayal of Mass Effect 3, but I watched a video.
Was it really a betrayal, or was it just honestly just a really bad ending to a good game?
100% betrayal.
No, but I mean, was it just a bad ending to a very good game? Did you have fun playing it up until like 95%, and then the ending just kind of went?
I did.
Oh, isn't that a betrayal?
Yeah, it's a betrayal.
If it undoes all the progress you made by making it irrelevant,
and it's everything's irrelevant, and oh, by the way, here's a sudden thing where nothing else matters. It just fueled the nihilistic tendencies that I already have naturally.
Okay. Do they? I know the initial ending was crap on it. I thought there was an
Initial
expansion.
ending literally killed the galaxy. Spoiler warning, I don't care.
But it wasn't there also like an not an add-on, an expansion.
Yeah,
Yes.
they gave
helped.
an extended pack that said, oh, maybe the galaxy's not entirely destroyed because we forgot that we said this happens in the last game.
Mm.
Yeah, so in Mass Effect 2, they made it clear.
quick friendship check. Femshep, right?
Normally.
Okay, awesome.
Boom. Yeah, so in Mass Effect 2, they made it pretty clear that destroying...
Femshep.
No, I was not Femchep.
Yeah.
Femshep.
For my 20 minutes I played a Mass
destroys
Effect 1.
You kill a mass relay, it destroys the system that it's in. At the end of 3, you destroyed all of them.
Yeah.
So every system's destroyed that has a Mass Effect relay. Why? See? He agrees. He knows
Okay.
what's up.
All right.
But,
So-
yeah.
No, he said the ending was good. He says the updates do nothing. Ending was good if sci-fi tropey.
Oh, never mind. I totally disagree.
Yeah, Nick says the ending was good because you destroy all of
You destroy all life,
all
and that's
of
good.
life. Good job destroying all of life.
But also, more Destiny. Star Wars Destiny. I need that in my life.
Yes, not Destiny.
Not the game, no.
Yeah, no, that's
I
garbage.
want more of those.
Oh, Destiny's
Brian
fine.
pointed out Star Wars Destiny is designed by
The same dude that did
Christian.
StarCraft.
Is it Christian?
Yeah, it's the same dude that did StarCraft,
Game of
and
Thrones.
Game of Thrones,
The
and
new
the new version of StarCraft that's based on 40K.
well, and the new Warrior Knights.
Yeah,
Oh, good news. So Amazon Prime, which gives 2-day shipping, just announced that they updated my shipping for my new copy of Doom to be sent from PS4 that I ordered back at the end of December.
huh?
Has been updated to January 31st. And then they sent me another one saying, good news! We could ship it out sooner, so I'm going to get it on January 25th for 2-day shipping.
You know why I couldn't remember Mr. Christensen's first name?
Why?
Because his first name's Christian. It's Christian Peterson. Like it's something Christian, and no, it's Christian Peterson. But yeah, he's good. Christian's up there with a lot, but he does a lot of 4X games. He's all about military and expansion games
Yeah.
in general. What are you gonna say?
Different ways to build different things
It's Brian's been trying. Brian's been trying very hard
to get it
to try and get me into it. I'm not doing it.
balls
Hey,
deep.
He's even okay. So I am assembling his horrific
Hydra.
I'm sculpting the paint hooks on all the sides, and he's threatening to get me Star Wars Destiny. What are you guys looking up over there?
He
All the
did
games
Twilight
he did.
Imperium, which is not popular among some of the podcast people we've had on here.
I don't mind
Keith
it.
hates it. You don't mind. Brian, I believe, doesn't like it, or maybe Brian says he wouldn't mind it. Maybe I don't remember. But I don't see the Star Wars. I don't see Star Wars Destiny on here. I see Star Wars Armada.
It's just
on
Armada.
here.
Yeah, so somebody's wrong with that crap.
Yeah, Brian, your trivia's terrible.
I don't think I trust you.
You can check. Maybe it just wasn't credited, but this is Star Wars Armada on the Board Game Geek, not Star Wars Destiny. The point is, he did Twilight Imperium, and I like Twilight Imperium, and fuck the haters.
So as far as I can tell here, it looks like it is Zero Dawn is available on the PS4.
Yes.
But it's probably optimized very similar to Last Guardian to the PS4 Pro.
Maybe it'll come with a memory card expansion like Donkey Kong 64 did.
Yeah, they could pop it out of your 64 and put that extra 4 megabytes of RAM into it.
Hey, man, it's a big deal.
I remember having that, so I can run my Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really actually required for a lot of the games, though.
No, I think Donkey Kong 64 was the only one that 100% required it. I think every other one, it was optional.
Yeah, but without it, it was like for some of the games I played, it was trash without it.
Yeah. True story.
Trying to see who.
Yeah,
I can't
trying to
seem
find
to
out who
find it,
designed
yeah.
Star Wars Destiny.
Yeah, now I need to know if Brian lied to me.
He might have.
Brian lied to
He is
you.
a filthy, dirty, lying liar.
He is like a dealer. He's trying to get everybody else addicted.
I'm
that
already-
everyone else could
He
play
didn't
with
have
him.
to lie to me. I was already doing it.
Yeah, I went on to that road trip with you guys. That was great. Brian's like, "Hey, you want to come to Pegasus with John and I?" I'm like, "Okay."
It was.
Yeah,
That was perfect on his part too, because we had already discussed it, and I didn't know if he told you.
I kind of figured that's what it was. I'm not getting into that game. I need to find a roommate. Special call out to anybody who wants to move to Madison, Wisconsin.
You can live with Andy.
You can come live with me.
It's a nice place.
It is a nice
It
place.
is a nice building.
It is a 3-bedroom townhouse over in Verona, Wisconsin. Rent is about $685,
It's not bad.
not including utilities, but you get almost a 200 square foot room just for your bedroom.
Those are the names I see on the game.
Star Wars
details.
Destiny was designed by a couple of Polish people.
That's fair.
All right, so Zappity, Grumble. Then there's.
I have
let's see
not
here.
seen The Magicians.
Yeah. Well, you have to say the question, John.
have you
cannot
seen
just
The
you cannot
Magician?
just
I'm sorry.
read.
I haven't done
what's
this
on
since you
there.
gave us a screen.
Well, I should take it away because
You should take it away.
the girls have issues with that too.
Yeah, that's fair. Have any of you watched The Magicians? I have not. I don't know what it is.
It is a television series based on a book trilogy that I recommended on this podcast previously. And despite liking the books and knowing that the show is also good from people who have told me, so I don't have cable, and so I didn't watch it because it was on Sci-Fi Channel, and it just hit Netflix like 2 weeks ago, and I just haven't had the chance to watch it yet. Brian watched, I think, all of it, and he told me it was pretty good. But no, I haven't. Of the three of us, I'm the only one that would have had an interest to watch it, and I have not watched it yet.
I've since I watch a lot of sci-fi shows, like I watched Z Nation. There was a lot of commercials for the magicians on it, and it always felt to me, at the time, and it's something I'll probably end up watching. It felt like to me it was just like a ripoff of Harry Potter. It just felt like it was a forced adult version of Harry Potter. That's what it felt like to me.
So here's I'll address the Harry Potter thing because it's a very fair thing to say. Mm-hmm. So number one, I mean, yes, it's about a kid from the normal world who finds out he has magic powers and he goes to the Harry Potter thing. Mm-hmm. So the two things that mitigate that is thing number one, he graduates from the school in the first third of the first book.
Okay.
Like, it's just like, and then he went to school, and then this happened year one, and then this happened year two, and then nothing really happened, and now he's graduated, and then the story goes. So it's not about him at school. And number two, it subverts that a lot because he's a huge fan of I'll just say the Chronicles of Narnia. They have a made-up book series, but it's blatantly the Chronicles of Narnia.
Sure.
So he's this huge fan of Chronicles of Narnia, and then so he gets taken, and he's like, yeah, you're a wizard. He's like, shit. If wizards are real, Narnia's gotta be fucking real. And so he's on this epic holy quest and they're all like, no, those are just books, dude. Like, yeah, there's wizards, but there's no Narnia. He's like, fuck you, I'm finding Narnia. And the whole, like, it's a big thing about his personal quest to find this place. Spoiler, he does find it in book one, but, you know. It would be boring to have him be wrong for 3 books. So, but yeah, so it subverts Harry Potter and the Chronicles of Narnia.
I'll give it a shot on Netflix. I got time.
The books were very interesting and full of a lot of subversion stuff, and I've heard nothing but good things about the show.
I've been extremely surprised by Sci-Fi's some of their shows. Some of their shows have been just really, really solid in quality. The Expanse is being one of those. The Expanse is just really, really solid in quality. It does not feel like a sci-fi show at all, considering their history. I mean, their history is, Sharknado and, all these other, called Warehouse. Was it Warehouse 34?
Yeah.
It's just more of a cheesy...
Warehouse 13, wasn't it?
13,
Yeah, it was 13, because of course it was 13.
Yeah. But it was just more of a cheesy show. It wasn't that. I think Eureka was on Sci-Fi as well.
Eureka was good for the first few seasons, though.
But that was more of just a tongue-in-cheek type show, not anything like a serious drama, like you would actually see with I would say with Babylon 5 is more of a serious show. It's not a
they didn't have anything serious like that since Stargate left. Was done rather.
I'm going to touch something on the chat that's still about the magicians. That it's a funny anecdote that the person in chat who has obviously watched the show and read the books will appreciate. And I may have told this anecdote to Brian or not, but I read the books because they were loaned to me by a coworker, and they're one of his favorite books. He's a big fan of the Dresden Files as well, and we talk about those all the time. But he loaned it to me. He's like, dude, you got to read these books. And so I read them. And then he watched the show. And in the books, there's a horrific thing that happens, and one of the characters is telling it as a story. You experience...
Is that the story in Gremlins?
Yes, it's that. But so the main character of the story, one of his friends tells him, she's away for a while, and then he meets her again, and she explains, a lot of book 2 is kind of her in a flashback. And so she's telling the story, and something Red Wedding horrific happens to her. Holy shit, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to anybody ever. Horrific happens. In the show, she tells the story, and then that thing doesn't happen. She's like, yeah, and then they got married and everybody danced and we all partied and it was the best thing ever. Hooray for weddings at the Frey's house. And then the episode ends.
Oh, yeah.
And my buddy comes to me, he's like, motherfucker, they fucking blah, blah, he's just furious. And then the next week, it turns out that it had just been blocked from her memory, and she's like, oh my god! And she just remembers the horrific thing, and he came back, he's like, alright, it's still there. And I'm like, okay, good. But yeah, so they fuck with their audience a little bit. Spoiler, sorry. But yeah. So
yeah, I heard you talk about that before.
And that's just amazing to me. And I think that's hilarious because of course it's the people who read the books see this thing coming, and so to be watching the show and have the Red Wedding go off without a hitch and nobody gets murdered, and then the show ends. Everybody who had read the Game of Thrones books would just be like,
I was watching the people with me. I was just, yep, it's coming. Here we go.
Speaking of that, so a little thing I found out was adults showing their kids the spoiler Empire Strikes Back, where Luke learns that Vader is his father.
Sure.
Or that Vader reveals to Luke that he is his father.
Yeah.
Watching that, so I watched a bunch of kids, just watching the film with their parents, and that they had cameras on the kids, and that their reactions, which was pretty cool. The cameras at least felt like they were hidden. Until I watched this one where this guy was showing his girlfriend. There's 3 guys in the room. They were all watching Empire with her, and then because you could hear the audio ramping up to that point, then as the audio just starts of the conversation there, all of them turn to look at her. One guy actually pulls out his phone, points it at her with the fucking light on.
Jesus Christ.
For her reaction. They have one camera there that's by the television that's getting the full shot, which is all you need.
Camera. That's how I always film
all you fucking need. And then there's all 3 of the other guys are all pointing her, looking at her
we're going to be YouTube famous.
It was really goddamn annoying. I mean, it's as a person who has never, if I was that person who never saw that movie and there was going to be a big scene and somebody all pointed and started looking at me at that point, I was like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah,
it's shining a bright light in my face. Fuck.
Dance, monkey, dance.
I would have been done with that show at that point. I would have basically that would have destroyed Star Wars for me.
I did have, I've never had somebody who didn't know Vader was Luke's father, but when I was in junior high, Adam was in high school at the time, and one of his girlfriends knew nothing about Star Wars, and so I got to see somebody be surprised at Yoda. Because this annoying little lizard dude is like, you're Yoda. She's like, what? Like, of course that's Yoda.
Yeah.
That's what Yoda looks like. We all know who Yoda is.
Yeah. No, I would be. That would be something. I think maybe I saw it on a podcast where somebody had mentioned is like if you had the ability to erase a movie from your mind, so you could watch that movie again. What movie would that be?
2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Movie.
That's a movie.
Not
video.
a 10-minute video.
That was 10 minutes.
If you watch it 9 times, it's a full-length film. I think it's like Run Lola Run, where you see the alternate version. It's Groundhog's Day. Maybe this time it'll all fit in the cup.
No.
Okay, I'll think of a different one while you give your answer.
I'm assuming his answer was Star Wars.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
No, I would probably choose something that I still love so much is Usual Suspects was the big one.
Fight Club.
Fight Club is another good one.
Fight Club is like if you want to just not know the twist, I think Fight Club is a twist that's fun to get taken away from you.
Yep.
Fight Club, I think, would have to probably be it.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy the movie and then getting to re-experience that, because that was actually spoiled for me.
What about
The
Gift? Because you could see Katie Holmes' breasts for the first time again.
I'm not sure I've seen The Gift.
But you've seen that 10 seconds of it.
I've seen that 10 seconds of it.
All right.
I think something like How to Train Your Dragon for me. Because I really enjoyed that movie itself. It had no twist in it that would make me, but I mean, it just...
I remember seeing it's one of the few movies I really liked in 3D, and like those flight scenes, were so, amazing. Vivid. The first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I remember getting really giddy at the swinging, like when he was swinging and you'd get like the first person shots. It just was fun to me.
I think you would almost have to erase more things from your mind to watch the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man again.
Yeah.
Like basically all the instances of Spider-Man since that point.
Could I just erase all Spider-Man movies from my head?
And just make Homecoming your first one?
No. The Tobey Maguire ones were fine. I even like Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 is fine. It has the issue of too many villains, but...
It has too many villains, and another thing that people hate about it that I think you hate for the wrong reason, not you, but generic people hate for the wrong reason, is the stupid dancing sequence. And the thing is... That's stupid for a villain thing to be doing, but if you are... good job, Nick and chat. If it was a perfect depiction of an uncool person who delusionally thinks they're being cool.
Yes.
Like, the symbiote didn't make him cool. It made him think he was cool, and he sure as fuck wasn't. And I guess people didn't get the distinction there. Well, it's like the people who think Kylo Ren was a shitty villain, when I think he's an amazing villain because he was shitty at being a villain. Like, that's different.
I agree fully with you on both accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man 3's problem is exactly what Andy said, is there's just too many villains.
Yeah.
And there was no character development on their fronts. So
if they would have kept it honestly with 2 villains, it would have been fine. But the fact that they had to add Green Goblin or Hobgoblin, whatever the fuck he was again, back into it, that was not necessary. But having Venom was fine, and I thought
having Thomas was fine. Having him deal with Venom while as a hindrance to dealing with the actual, like
dealing with Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. I thought he was a great Sandman. I enjoyed Sandman in general in that.
Yeah, Sandman and Venom would have been fine. Like having him deal with Sandman while also, well, it's just like in the second movie he has to deal with Dr. Octopus while also dealing with going impotent for some reason.
And the Goblin too, I believe in that too.
No, the Goblin's not in the second one.
The first one is
Goblin's in the first one alone. The second one, the closest it gets to a Goblin is that
Harry finds his dad shit. Yeah, okay,
right, to set him up being in the third one. But having whatever.
Yep.
That's the problem. And they say the chat's saying the studio forced Venom in. I mean, I guess at that point, it depends how late he's forced in. Like, if it's any 2 of the 3 would have been fine. But 3 villains is just too many villains.
I liked Venom as an internal struggle, though. Like, for character development purposes.
Yeah.
Versus his best friend being an asshole.
But it's not a friendly thing. It's a parasite.
Yeah,
that's what Venom is.
That's why I liked it, though. Like, I liked the Venom and I like Sandman. I think that his friend being an asshole was not... That's just...
Yeah, you didn't need to have Harry Osborn throughout that whole thing. It could have just been...
Like, if someone were to put together that entire movie without him there, I might actually enjoy it.
I mean, it's still the third best Spider-Man film of the last 20 years.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
that going for it. Like, it's middle of the pack.
Did you watch 2 with me? Did we do
twice.
No.
What was that one?
We watched one.
Two?
We watched one halfway through.
That was one?
The beginning one twice. Because we watched the first 15 minutes before Captain Obvious behind us annoyed us so much that we had to leave the theater to go into another theater.
There was like a 6-year-old kid sitting directly behind us that was doing running commentary of the movie.
Hey, so hey, look. Oh, I took off my glasses. He took off his glasses.
Yeah.
He put his glasses back on. Oh, that's Spider-Man's parents.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Like, not to hate on children, but fuck children.
Yeah, we sat through the first 15 minutes of Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, twice.
And one of us remembered that there was a showing 15 minutes later, so like 10 minutes in, we're like, you know what, we can just go to the other showing.
So you saw the Jamie Foxx one with me too, didn't you?
Maybe, I don't remember. I know I saw it in theaters. We might
Paul
have seen it
Giamatti?
together. Yeah, no, I know I saw it. Yeah, Paul Giamatti, yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't remember if we saw it together, but we probably did because I remember you talking about the Rhino.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me. That movie was horrible too.
I spoiled the first one for Casey. I thought I watched it with her. Apparently, I watched it with my sister and my buddy Brian. And
which first one? The Amazing Spider-Man or just Spider-Man?
The Amazing one, the one with the scrawny dude, not Tobey Maguire.
Oh, okay. Well, he was actually I liked him as Peter Parker. I thought he was a solid Parker in Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I spoiled that one for her, and she was unhappy with me.
Well, why would you?
Because I thought she watched it, and I'm like, yeah, you watched, because we were going to go watch the second one in theaters together. Oh. And I'm like, you watched it with me, and she's like, I didn't see it. And I'm like, yeah, this happens at the end. And she goes, fuck you so hard right now. And away she went, and she didn't talk to me until after the movie. We're in a car together for like 2 hours, and not one word.
Wow.
You should be happy.
Even through dinner.
She should possibly... we should bring Casey up here right now. We should...
She still holds a grudge.
But I mean, she should be happy though she didn't see the first
the new ones.
No, she saw the Andrew Garfield one.
Yeah.
So she should be happy that she didn't see that.
Yeah, but I spoiled it for her, and that ruined it.
What? Seeing it ruined it. For me.
What can you spoil about the first one? Oh, I guess the dad... Rescue Me guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I may or may not have also fucked up, and I read the comic book, so I knew what happened in 2, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to happen. There's no doubt. Trying to make things better. All I did was make things worse.
That was the only good part.
They followed through on that?
That they followed through on... Well, who cares? I don't fucking care. This is a bad movie. I am so happy that they followed through on Gwen Stacy's death.
Oh, sure.
That was
the first Tobey Maguire where they took that moment, replaced her with Mary Jane. I was upset by that. Artistically, I did like, and I know some people commented and they thought it was stupid, but I kind of liked it as a touch, is when he's diving for Gwen to try to rescue her, and he shoots his webbing, and the webbing's just, it's gaining on her, but not quickly enough to save her. The tip of the webbing, actually, when it extends, looks like a hand reaching for her.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a neat little touch, that it was him literally, like, reaching out for her, and I don't know.
It was actually a very shocking and dramatic moment that was really well done in that film. That was probably the best part of that film, and then the rest of it was just horrible. Like
they were brave. The reason it worked so well, I think, is because they gave her 2 movies. They didn't off Gwen in the first movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They let her continue, and that gave you more time to bond with her, more time to build her up as a character, and that made it more impactful.
Because I audibly went, oh! When that happened, it was a very, very, very well done part.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, most bad things have little bits of good in them, right? And most good things have little bits of bad. But yeah,
that's true.
Just. Man, yeah, Jamie, that whole character just did not fucking work.
It's trash.
It just did not work.
It was the fucking Riddler all over again.
It was, and the Green Goblin he came out of nowhere and made no sense. It's like all of a sudden you're mutated and you look like a Juggalo.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening here. Like,
I didn't think of Juggalo. Definitely a Juggalo.
Yeah, it's just.
The Rhino was just a guy in a robot suit
shooting at
Just-
kids.
and the movie on.
I'll say, didn't he not? Oh yeah, he did show up, and then he just shows up again randomly at the end, right?
Yeah.
Well, because they were gonna have a Sinister Six spin-off. Like, they even at the very end there, they mentioned that, and they're like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that shit's never happening, buddies.
The fact that the other issue I had too is that Oscorp had like everything to do with every other single iconic Spider-Man villain. Like when they're walking through Oscorp, they showed like the shot of, I think it was Rhino's suit was right there.
Yeah.
They showed the Vulture's suit, Dr. Octopus's arms.
Well, and the goddamn spider isn't... like, they have a room full of that spider. Like, it isn't a random accidentally rated spider. There's literally a closet full of spiders that are apparently pre-set up to bite you and turn you into Spider-Man.
Yep.
So why aren't there like 100 Spider-Mans running around?
Exactly.
Like,
It's like some random
the janitor just
custodian there.
stumbles,
I did like that they
Spider.
at least made it so that it was mechanical webbing, not
Yeah, well, that's
mechanical webbing also from Oscorp.
that
Yeah.
part. I disliked a little, but yeah, no, I just like that it was at least not coming out of there.
Coming be the key word.
Oh, it was.
Well, that's how they.
It kind of looked like that in the vial, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah,
well,
but that's how it was in the original trilogy. Was it was more of an organic thing. So when he got stressed, he
ejaculated all
couldn't.
over women.
Yeah,
Yeah, he gets all stressed, so he can't perform. He gets physically weakened, and the white sticky stuff can't shoot out of his body. It's like you need to see a therapist, whoever's making the second Spider-Man movie.
yeah. I'm also happy that that at least in Civil War, the way that they portray Spider-Man is more of he is an inventor, and that's how I mean he's the one who created his web shooters. He's the one who created his own persona.
I'm hoping that they can do that one right.
I'm hoping Homecoming is good. The fact that that we actually have Birdman in the film is going to be awesome.
People are mad because it's Black Mary Jane.
Who cares? She's not even in the film.
She's Black Mary Jane.
Who cares? She's not in the film. Or
Who would care?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's it's the true story of Spider-Man is Peter Parker dealing with his life.
I mean,
It's the balance of his life, trying to balance like a social home life, taking care of his aunt, dating, etc., dealing with school, all other things, and then being a superhero at the same time.
I like how Aunt May keeps getting hotter
Yeah,
in
she's-
every reboot.
Definitely hotter.
Marissa Tomei is still. She is old enough to have somebody as old as Spider-Man.
I'm saying they keep like the Tobey Maguire ones. They had like an octogenarian, and then they went.
No, that was Sally Field.
No, the Tobey Maguire ones was
She was old.
Oh yeah.
And then the Andrew Garfield ones was Sally Field.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
And then now they went with Marissa Tomei. So yeah, they keep getting younger and younger.
Sally Field, hot though.
Sa-
Still hot. Still.
Sally Field still got it.
Yeah.
Sally Field still got it. Mass respect to you, Sally Field. I would. Like I was talking about Red with somebody once, and they're like, yeah, and fuck, now I'm blanking on her name. The movie Red, the Bruce.
Yeah, the older woman.
I know who you're talking about. I know exactly. I
Whatever.
cannot think of it right now.
But he was like, yeah, man, like 40 years ago, she was hot. I'm like,
Helen
are you
Mirren.
kidding me? Helen Mirren's hot now. Helen Mirren is like one of the 10 sexiest women in Hollywood. I don't care if she's in her 80s. She is a beautiful woman.
I will say.
I would not say no to Helen Mirren.
She's in her 50s. I'm just saying that as being.
I think Casey agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casey agrees that Helen Mirren is one of the hottest women in
She
Hollywood
would
right
not
now.
say no.
I would not say that's fine. I'll watch Casey and Helen Mirren get it on.
Me too.
Sex tape takes the internet by storm.
I'm imagining that now. And
Yeah, you should probably not. Well, good thing. Good thing camera is low enough.
Are your spinnerets working?
over time.
Don't Urban Dictionary Spider-Man. So
The Spider-Man is great. As far as sex things to do, the Spider-Man is relatively innocent.
I don't.
it is relatively.
I'll just tell you, you don't got to Google it. It's you're enjoying time with your lady friend. This usually involves her earning $1,000 of $1 billion on you. Okay, so that's going on.
Yep.
You When you're almost done, you pull back.
Oh.
You finish in your hand. You leap up against the wall and go, "Stop, evildoer!" and throw it in her eyes.
God.
That is not what I expected.
Just get that weapon right in there.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Or his eyes. It works just fine as well if you're a gay Spider-Man.
Or experimenting Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true. Bisexual Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You don't have to be gay to have sex with people of the same gender.
It is not gender specific. Spider-Maning.
Well, it's harder.
The one Spider-Maning.
The Spider-Woman would be more difficult to do. Like, you as the
Correct.
person doing it, it's easier if you are indeed a man.
Correct.
I'm sure we can figure out a way to do a Spider-Woman, but as written, it's easier for a man.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, the look of confusion on Casey's face would be amazing.
Well, now she knows what's coming. No pun intended.
Jesus. Zappity.
Yeah, we got no more, so I think it's recommendations. We padded this fucker out.
Yeah, we did. Recommendations.
Kabaddi.
We haven't had a full episode of recommending that.
And if I didn't, I switched pens mistakenly. If I didn't recommend it on a previous episode, my ghost bed is fucking amazing.
Ghost bed?
So I must say,
Oh, you got a new bed. Okay.
yeah, I got a new bed. I got it from Ghost Bed, and it is fucking amazing. I recommend getting a ghost bed.
Is it related to Casper?
It is a ripoff of Casper, but it's a ripoff that improved and is cheaper. So
Is
it's
Casper a bed then?
Yes,
Yeah,
Casper is
yeah,
a bed.
yeah.
Purple is also. I like Ghost Bed more than Purple. Blah blah blah. The point is, you can look at these beds, but get one of these beds. They're amazing. If you go Casper, if you go Purple, if you go Ghost Bed, I don't care. I have a Ghost Bed and I fucking love it. Brian didn't go with Ghost Bed with somebody else. The point is, these beds are amazing now. Like if you got a box spring mattress, those things fucking suck.
Wouldn't you
and
want
even
to?
memory foams? Like a lot of memory foams are really soft, and these ones are a little more like they're soft, but you don't sink like quicksand, and it doesn't heat up like.
That's what we got. It's not too soft because I hate soft beds.
Yeah.
And it dissipates heat because Casey and I both are furnaces at night.
You know what brand yours is?
Not a clue in
Okay.
the world.
Is it like more than 5 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
It
Maybe
is-
get a ghost bed still.
It is like 5 years old.
But yeah,
One thing I hear that from everybody who gets those type of mattresses, the most satisfying thing in the world is when it is delivered. It is something that's
It
like
is.
in a small box,
Yep.
and you open it, or you just basically cut it open, and it just expands out. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it takes a day to fully expand.
Yeah.
But it's and then here's the like we got a queen size.
Okay.
And it you didn't have to pay all up front. It's interest free. We pay $60 a month for a year. So I mean that's I don't even notice it. And now I have a bed, and it had been a decade since I bought a bed because you don't want it feels so fucking bad like buying a goddamn mattress. Like you want to buy a PlayStation Pro, you want to buy a car, you don't want to get a fucking mattress, and so you put it off.
so the other thing that's also really nice, at least I know for a couple of the places.
The refund policy.
Basically, a lot of them will be if you're not satisfied with the product, generally what they'll do is they'll actually have you donate it over to a
Yeah.
charity of some sort.
Yep, and then you get a full refund. Yeah, so it's 1 year interest-free, easy little payments. If you don't like it, it doesn't cost you a penny, and some homeless people get a free queen-size brand new bed.
If you don't like it, yep.
Yeah, if you don't like it, or if you like it for a month and decide that you're a jerk who likes to have a free bed for a month, I'm not judging you.
Maybe you
But,
want
like,
to upgrade to a king.
Sure. But you got a 100-day sleep night guarantee, so you could do it for 3 months and then get rid of it. Have 3 months on a nice bed if you want to, and then a hobo gets it. I don't fucking care.
I think when Brian got his bed, he said that he had to have it for at least 60 days or something like that. Otherwise,
Before they'd let him?
Yeah.
Okay, so keep your mattress in the garage for 60 days.
Yep.
But don't. You'll keep it. Like, Raylene used to toss and turn. She never slept through the night.
Yeah.
Like, her life. And she sleeps like a fucking rock now on this thing. It is amazing. The only thing that's weird is, like, because it's weird because it actually, like, it sinks in, but you don't super sink. Like, I forget it's not a normal mattress sometimes because it has that support until I sit on the side of it. And
then
then
you
when my
just-
weight's all focused, then I
Nope.
sink a foot down. But apart from that, like, just do it. Every one of you fucking nerds out there has a mattress you've had since high school. You haven't even bothered flipping or rotating it, so it's an abomination and you don't want to know how many dust mites are crawling all over you. Get a new bed. And I like my ghost bed specifically. Also watch Kabaddi.
Yeah. No, yes, Travis. I did see the new Elder models. They are nuts, and the Zinch models actually look way better to me.
Zinch.
The Zinch models, whatever.
I hear you calling it Zinch.
I call it the Zinch every time.
Zinch.
The Zinch models are amazing. The Lord of Change is
Yeah, they are knocking it out of the park. It definitely shows who's got the mastery of the press of the injected molds.
Yeah. Also, the War Scrolls for the Zinch models also looked really cool for like abilities and whatnot. We're talking fantasy. That's not fantasy.
It's not
Age of
fantasy.
Sigmar.
No, the Eldar models are 40K.
The Zinch models are.
That's 40K as well.
The War Scrolls I got, or that
Don't-
I looked
The
at.
Lord of Change. The Lord of Change is actually it's either one. It's
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
Talking about Age of Sigmar and rules is stupid. It's fucking stupid.
I'm just opening up a can of words. We have another half hour of this fucking podcast now. Nathan, quiet. I'm taking your pen.
Oh, I'm aware
nice
of how
one.
you feel about Age of Sigmar,
I don't need to hear it. We don't need to hear it.
and yeah. My recommendation
Like, what do
is
the rules on the model matter? I field a tree, I automatically win. Who the fuck cares about your Lord of Change War Scroll?
they did a lot of work into changing that.
Well, they shouldn't have done a lot of work. They should have went fucking bankrupt because of that abomination they shit down the throats in the first place. And the fact that people are giving them fucking money now and rewarding them
I agree.
infuriates me.
I
So
agree
here's-
that they
here's-
should have had bad stuff happen, but they have done like a total 180.
Here's one thing that will surprise the hell out of you, Nathan. So Games Workshop, just listen with unbiased for a moment here. Games Workshop actually contacted a bunch of podcasters over in the UK, invited them down to their store or to the headquarters, and actually said, "Hey, here's a bunch of scenarios. Let's play these." Played them. Jervis Johnson was there. They talked about this on the podcast. Jervis Johnson was there. They played the scenario. They said, podcast said this scenario is fucking stupid because of this and this and this. And Jervis is like, okay, rips it up, walks out, comes back 15 minutes later with a new scenario. They did that until they ended up coming up with really good scenarios for the game itself, and also worked with the community to come up with the points values and the rules for all of Age of Sigmar.
So
The whole compendium is all community driven.
after you release your game, destroy the universe your previous game came in, shit down your fans' throats, ruin your mythos, that's not when you should start playtesting.
Oh, I agree.
That's not when you should start fucking playtesting.
The thing with the Age of Sigmar, though, as compared to Warhammer Fantasy, it is selling exorbitantly more than what Fantasy was selling.
And that depresses me about this
it's
fucking
sad.
world.
I
It's
think
sad,
people
but-
don't. Most people don't
Chariots
seem
moving
to,
sideways because you measure movement from like
Most people just don't seem to enjoy the rank and file, the what that brought.
yeah.
that's fine. I have no problem with a skirmish game set in the Warhammer mythos. My problem is that Age of Sigmar
Killed off.
was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It was an unrepentant pile of garbage. I won't even say rules because that's an insult to the concept of rules.
I would say the release edition of Age of Sigmar would be that.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, it is actually a pretty solid playable game.
Trust me, it took me a long time to be willing to even consider reading that stuff. And then I heard Andy talk about it one day when we were going out for lunch. I'm like, I'll see what Andy's talking about, and he wasn't wrong. It looks playable, and the rules look kind of neat. And then the Zinch models are always sexy. And
The scary thing is, so I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I have mentioned this to others. Comixos. I don't know if you've ever seen their advertisements. I'm on Blood Bowl message boards a lot, so I see their advertisements. They're a third-party Blood Bowl manufacturer, so they make teams. They sell teams from third parties as well on their stores. They were contacted by GW to be an official online retailer for Blood Bowl.
Okay.
You're not.
I don't get.
They're a third party, so they're basically the competition for GW, and GW is saying, "Hey, we want you to sell Blood Bowl
instead of
with
cease
us,"
and desist.
instead of telling them, fuck you, turn off your store, this and that. They're an official GW sponsored retailer now, which is compared to what they were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it's completely different, which is, I think, is pretty damn amazing from that company.
Right. It's just, to me, it's just frustrating that they shouldn't be able to fix these problems now because they should have been punished for those problems.
I agree.
Like, it's frustrating to me that they went for so long suing their fans, being utter shitheads, releasing garbage games because they suffered nothing for it. It's like if a year from now you told me that Trump was really respectful of women now. I don't give a shit. He shouldn't have gotten to this point. I mean, he should have failed because of his terribleness. But, yeah. Not that GW is as bad as Trump, or Trump's as bad as GW. I won't tell you which one I hate more.
I know which one you hate more.
It's
Games
King
Workshops.
Games. It's King Games. I hate King Games more than either of them.
So my recommendation is still Destiny. Star Wars Destiny. Buy all the dice and the cards.
No.
Why should I? Like, I could just have you or Brian loan me cards.
That's fair.
Or dice. Dice and cards?
Yeah, I know.
No.
Yeah,
No.
so good.
Nope.
Yup.
Nope.
I'm
too broke.
I'm going to recommend.
fair.
I'm
You
going to
also
recommend
can't
so we
find
can
it
end
around
this
here.
fucking podcast. I'm going to recommend the new season of Always Sunny. I would say
The water park episode was good.
No, The Gang Turns Black was amazing. I don't know if you saw that
I have
one.
not.
But
we,
that was,
we should watch that next if we have time.
I have
But-
shown the Horizon Zero Dawn trailer first.
Okay, that's fine. But basically, the whole new season so far has been really good. Like everyone talks of like season 5 is probably like their big hits. With the Gang Solves Gas Crisis and a lot of those. Those are really good, but I think they're really on the ball for this new season. The Gang Turns Black is great. The water park episode that we just saw is amazing. The new show that they introduced into the 3rd episode here, which you haven't seen yet, is really good too. But yeah, check out Always Sunny again. It's on FXX. I can stop ranting about it because I actually get FXX now.
I'm excited for Power Rangers, Travis.
I didn't grow up with Power Rangers. It was a little bit after my age group.
Yeah, I guess it would have been, because, yeah.
That was about the early 90s.
Yeah.
Into mid 90s is when Power Rangers.
94-ish, maybe.
Yeah, I was graduating from high school at that point. So
Yeah.
Power Rangers was my Power Rangers was Voltron. So and
Voltron too.
I like Bryan Cranston is the only cast member to be in that Power Rangers and this Power
Yep.
Rangers.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just hilarious.
yeah, so I haven't watched any of the new Voltron on Netflix, but I'm intrigued by it. I have so many other things to watch on Netflix right now, though.
The Expanse is on my list.
That's on.
Watch Magicians.
That's
That'll be on my
on.
list too, then.
Okay.
That is on Amazon Prime right now.
Gravity Falls is on Hulu.
God, there's so much TV to watch.
Yep. All right. Zabity, Grummel.
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi, Kabaddi, Kabaddi,
Kabaddi,
Kabaddi,
Kabaddi, Kabaddi, Kabaddi, Kabaddi, Kabaddi.
Run out. Yeah, no, I'm on to you. I'm on to you, Kabaddi. And Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi. Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi. Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi.